author, teacher, and professional speaker. He founded the Power of Peace Project, which is bringing peace and reconciliation to rival gang members and religious factions inside some of the toughest prisons and schools in the nation. He also recently launched the Power of Peace Productions, which is partnered with the New Catalyst TV network. He served with the Atlanta Mission, with various Department of Corrections, with Project Karma, with Alternative Education, Prison Fellowship. Also works with corporations as a national coach and teacher. He teaches principles and techniques that help people to rise above the stress, negativity, and fear surrounding them, adjusting their perspective and reach new heights. And he's here today to help you adjust your perspective and reach new heights. Kent Cummings.
Good afternoon, Atlanta. Y'all look wonderful. I wanted to thank Governor Deal and Commissioner Owens and Director Neal for caring about this very, very important issue. And can I do this? Yeah, there we go. I'm coming up on 50 years in Atlanta. This is my city too. All right, 50 years in this city. I love this city. And 10 years ago, I hit my bottom and I crashed a car. And it set me on the road to recovery. And today I stand here not just as an advocate and a spokesperson for recovery, but I'm in very, very grateful recovery today. I was a pastor, and I led large churches in the 90s, and I burned out, and I resigned. Addiction is an issue that is no respecter of color or age or rich or poor, inner city, outer city, clergy. Because right now, I'm in recovery, but there was a time in my life where the story that I didn't tell was the drunken, fallen preacher who lost his way and had to experience some pain to be here today. And so 5 years ago, when I was into recovery, I made a promise to my father, and I said, I will go to the people that the world is scared of or mad at. There's a big difference in those two. And I said, I'll go to the places where nobody wants to go, and I committed to go into prisons and recovery centers and inner city schools across the nation. And I founded the Power of Peace Project. And that has taken me to the toughest prisons in the state of Georgia, all over the nation, to prisons deep in the heart of Mexico, to prisons in South Africa, to prisons in Honduras, to prisons in the Ukraine, the former Soviet Union. And I've made it my business to study incarceration on the inside and get to know the fathers, the brothers, the uncles, the sons, the granddaughters and grandsons of real families. It's not an us against them. It's not a good people and bad people. It's people that are trying to get healthy and people that are still sick. Are you with me? Yeah! All right, now hold on. That sounded like church. Don't say amen, or I'm like, really? Get going. I'm telling you. This young generation is losing its way. We do some work down in the new schools at Carver, right down by Turner Field in the historic Lakewood community. And there are beautiful young men and women at the new schools at Carver, but that's a tough neighborhood. And so we do a program that's called Inspired Straight. The reason we call it Inspired Straight is this young generation, it's tough to scare them. You try to scare them, it ignites something in them that just wants to show you how bad they are. And so we tried an Inspired Straight program, and it began to work, and we got invited to more and more of the inner city schools around the country. But in that school last year, we lost two young men, two of our students, to gunfire in the streets. They got involved in gang activity. And that broke our hearts and it made us more committed. But the same year, we lost 4 up in North Fulton to suicide.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just gunfire in the inner city, it was suicide out there in the suburbs where there's gated communities. And there might be crack and meth in the inside, but there's Oxycontin and painkillers and opiates that are killing our kids on the outside. It's not an inside 285, outside the perimeter, one or the other. This cuts across all generational, racial, ethnic, economic. I'm gonna make up words that rhyme. Like Jesse, I like that. Oh my goodness, so we started a program, and I'll leave you with this, and it's called the Antivirus. See, our program took us into prisons, and we got known for this. And imagine if you get calls and say, well, you come to one of the tougher prisons in Michigan because we've got gangs that are at war, and we need you to come in, do conflict resolution and mediation, and get them to sit down at the table and understand that they're real men with real situations. And everybody has a journey that brought them to the day where they find their worst day. And they're all kind of men in those prisons. And I've learned not to judge. The one I follow said, when I was in prison, you came to visit me. And that tells me that he is there. And if he's anywhere, he's there. So I don't go there carrying him in. I go there looking for him inside of them. And we started a program called the Antivirus. Anybody ever gotten a flu shot?
Yes.
What do they give you? The flu. Does that make sense? No. So they give you a little bit of the dead flu virus, and your body responds and says, oh no, a foreign invader. And it starts to build up a defense system so that when the real flu shows up, you don't get sick. You with me?
Yeah.
All right, so see if anybody's paying attention. If the flu is the antivirus to the flu, then who is the antivirus to crime?
Us.
Say it again. The criminals. Transforming criminals on the inside. Providing them addiction recovery on the inside. Giving them education, treatment for whatever ails them on the inside. Giving them a voice to the young generation that needs their big brothers and their uncles and their fathers and their big homies that are, can I say that? Is that all right? That are on the inside. And so we started calling these men, be the antivirus to crime. Start using your voice to speak to this young generation that is drifting. Interrupt them, redirect them, give them some parenting from the inside, and the kids started listening. And when I went into the inner city schools, they called me the crazy white boy. They listened when I talked about the inmates on the inside, because that's where they're preparing to go. So the antivirus to crime is transform criminals. And these kids, whether it be out in North Fulton or down in the inner city or 30315 where we have our operations, #1 incarceration zip code in the state, people are changing. And I've got one last thing I got to get you to say it with me. I've got a slogan today. We're going to say it together. You ready?
Ready.
I'll say it first. Hope is the new dope. Oh my gosh, say it together. Hope is the new dope. Now, who is the person in the front row that's the newest in recovery? This one right here, that's yours. The Power of Peace Project. We can reach the kids. God bless you, love you, thank you.